Brew Strong is brought to you by Blickman Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blickmanengineering.com.
Brewers, it's time for the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think. Jamil and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy. Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Catch something in your zipper there, Jamil?
Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
When you got a lot down there, poking out all over the place, you know. Then,
information, that's what we got.
So, yeah, I got information poking out all over the place. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. My Palmer. When was the last time I saw you? It was GABF?
Yeah, GABF.
That's right. GABF. We were both there judging and doing miscellany.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tasting beers, talking with friends. It's always a good time at GABF.
Well, we're going to talk about GABF today. We're going to talk about judging at GABF.
Yeah,
and,
I think that'll be interesting for people to find out more about.
Yeah, people are always curious. You know, and even especially the pro brewers, they ask, you know, what goes on there? What's the true story?
Yeah,
and we will reveal all, I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You know who else reveals all?
Our good friend John Blickman.
Our good friend John Blickman. Yes.
And you go to the website, and there's a little spot you click on the website. You're gonna have to search around for it a little bit. I can tell you what page
so
it's
on. John. Yeah.
But you go around, you look at all the products, you click around on the website, and eventually you will see all will be revealed to you. And you'll see all the great equipment that they make and all the effort that they put into supporting homebrew and making your brew day better. And you will understand why we're all so very proud of our good friend John Blickman and what they've done at Blickman Engineering. So check it out, blickmanengineering.com. And people have asked, you say send them an email and tell them how much you appreciate their support, but what email address do I use? And you can use feedback at blickmanengineering.com. That's Blickman with a B and some G's.
CH and two N's.
There you go. Engineering.com. Well, and I also wanted to mention there is coming up the New Zealand Homebrew Conference coming up in 2016. This is going to be March 18th, 19th, and 20th of 2016. It's in Nelson, New Zealand. The website is www.nzhc.nz. So New Zealand Homebrew Conference.nz. New Zealand.
There you go.
And only $75 New Zealand. That's like 75 cents in U.S. money, isn't it?
I don't think they're that bad off.
Oh, no? No?
No.
All right. Yeah, flight there is only like $50. It's cheap.
Good.
Yeah, everybody should go. And all you people who are in Australia, you go over there. All you people who are in New Zealand, support this thing. You know, at $75, it's kind of a crowdfunding thing they're going to start on the 1st of November, and limited early bird tickets. And if all the New Zealand homebrewers go to this thing, it's something that they'll be able to do, every other year or every year. Who knows?
I'm planning on going.
You're gonna be there.
Yeah.
All right, John's gonna be there. I'm not.
I heard Tasty's going to be there.
Tasty's going to be there.
You told me at your homebrew rally that he's going to this conference.
I did?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did.
Tasty did.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I don't know how he worked that out, but Tasty's going too.
There you go.
Excellent.
Well, you get Tasty, you got Palmer. Me, I'm going to be working on our expansion of our brewery. So I won't be there, but I'd love to go. Maybe I'll go to one of the future ones. So you better make this a happening event so I can go later on. I'll go on a future year. Yeah, there you go. There you go. When you missed the rally, we had the AHA rally at the brewery.
Yeah, that must have been fun.
It was a great time. The homebrewers come out. We have a lot of fun, and people are just wonderful. It's hanging out, and it reminded me so much of just hanging out like in your garage, and the neighbors come over and your friends come over and you're all standing around the kegerator drinking.
Yeah,
it just reminded me of that.
It was a lot like that. Yeah.
That's really what it seemed like to me. It was just hanging out, plenty of good beer, plenty of good people to talk to.
Yeah,
just had a good old time.
Well, also because you got like weird stuff sitting around your garage too. It feels like a garage. There's an old washing machine in the corner.
Right. There's a boat sitting there.
Yeah, right in the brewery. So I think that added to that feel.
Yes.
No, it was cool. And you gave away wort to 200 homebrewers, I think, so they could go home and ferment it.
Right, and the yeast. So the wort brewer supply group provided the grains and the hops. We made the wort. White Labs provided yeast for everybody. A bunch of different kinds of yeast. And Lamont, the water kit people, we gave away a Lamont water test kit.
Yeah.
The Brewers Association, we gave away a bunch of books, and we gave away everyone left with a 6-pack of our Evil Twin cans.
I took 2, but thanks for that.
Sure. And then everybody got a couple of free beers when they got there.
Yeah. And
then that was just a good old time.
And then folks are all bringing back that wort for a homebrew competition, right?
That's right. That's pretty cool. November 14th, I think. We're going to judge the results of people's brewing. And then we've got another Lamont, the Pro, or we got the Plus kit. It's the Lamont water kit with the pH meter in it. We're going to give that away. And then we got some other prizes from like more beer and... and there was malt that BSG gave away, too. We had little bags of a new Simpsons crystal malt that was being given away.
Yeah. Palmer, I'm telling you that this AHA rally set the bar for all future rallies.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Homebrewers got so much stuff.
Yeah. I'm thinking, next year to make it even more garage-like, like everybody could send Jamil like a stuffed animal head to hang in there.
Yes.
Is that what your garage looks like? Do you have like a plastic sheeting on the walls in case there's some spillage or some sprayage? Is that what you got going on there?
No, I've got mostly shelves full of craft stuff.
Paint,
spray paint.
Chainmail.
Right.
Weird stuff.
Yeah.
There's
a wort chiller over there, baseball bat.
He's in there now.
Stainless steel tubing, copper tubing, 2 bicycles.
Dead hooker.
Yeah, dead cat.
Right.
There's my beer.
There you go. All right. Well, speaking of beer, let's do this. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about judging at GABF. John and I both judged at GABF, and we wanted to kind of fill people in on what happens there and maybe some secrets for entrance to do that, and maybe also how people can sign up to judge at GABF, right?
Right.
Okay, we'll be back right after this.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Back to the beer guys that make other beer guys look like wine guys. Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. So, John, how many years have you judged GABF now?
A grand total of 2.
2. That was your second year. Yeah, I've done maybe, I don't know, maybe 8.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And
do you feel it's changed much over the years, or?
No, it's staying pretty much the same. They make little tweaks to it every year.
Mm-hmm.
It is getting to be a bit more work now because the number of entries keeps going up and the number of judges doesn't.
Yeah.
So they add more judges, but not as much as they add entries. So this year it was 3 full days. It was a Monday or a Wednesday morning and afternoon session, a Thursday morning and afternoon session, then a Friday morning and afternoon session.
Right.
Plus you had to be there Tuesday for the orientation session.
Right.
So it's a serious commitment. How did you become a judge, John?
Well, I filled out the application form on the Great American Beer Festival website, and this part of that application, you fill out your judging experience, and then get two standing judges to vouch for you, and I think that's good because this is a high profile contest, and the Brewers Association, I think, takes it very seriously, the integrity of the contest, and when you see a macro brewer sweep the categories in light lager, and you think, but honestly, the way the competition is run, there are usually, 40 entries in that category. And, so it's not just the big brewers entering, it's also some microbrewers. And when you see, a macro brewer come out on top, they really earned it. So, I mean, that kind of integrity is very important to the Brewers Association.
Well, that's one of the things is, they don't, during orientation, they will tell you can't have your cell phone on during the judging. And so, anyone, caught pulling their cell phone out during judging is, hauled away in chains. And and beaten severely. And the reason they give is for the integrity of the competition. I don't know what you would do with your cell phone to, somehow change the result, but.
Right.
If it was like you're going to ask somebody, oh, did you have a beer in that has, passion fruit in it?
Yeah, I think I got your beer.
Right. Then, wouldn't you just ask them that beforehand if you were planning on cheating on something?
Yeah,
I don't know. Seems a little odd, but they take it so seriously, like you're saying, that that's one of the rules. So you fill out the form, and then you get a couple of people to vouch for you.
Yep.
Right, and so anybody out there that for Gordon Strong, I vouched for him, and he had to fill out the form too. And and people say, they're like, well, really? I mean, you had to like apply and wait. They don't just automatically wave you in. It's like, nope, that's not how it works. Everybody goes through the exact same process. And I think, that's good also, because otherwise it seems like, favoritism or something. No matter who somebody is, it's everybody goes through the same process. Everybody gets on the same list. And then, they select people from the list. And so sometimes it takes, a few years before somebody, gets in to judge.
Yeah, I had about an 18-month or 2-year wait to get finally start judging.
Mm-hmm. And then, so here's what happens. You fill out this form. You get people to vouch for you. They review that, and then I don't know what happens if they refuse you. Maybe they send you an email that says sorry, or or they send you an email that says you've been added to the list. Mm-hmm. And then when GABF rolls around, they send it out like around May, I want to say, or April.
Yeah, May, June. It's several months before.
Yeah, several months before the competition. They'll send you out an email saying, hey, you've been invited to judge GABF this year. Here's the dates. Here's locations. Here's how to, and you respond back and tell them whether you're going to judge or not. And then what they'll do is after you've accepted, they will send you a list of the categories that are going to be judged, and you indicate your preference for each session, saying, "Yeah, I like this. I don't like that. Oh, I've got entries in that," or whatever it would be.
Right. And some you have to recuse yourself from.
Right. Although. If you're with a commercial brewery and you've entered beers, then they automatically know, because this happens after the entries have already been submitted. Okay.
Now, tell us more about the entry process, Jamil. That may be interesting for some people.
Right. Entry process. They send out a thing. The way it works now is it's like, would you want to enter? You're like, yes. If you were going to enter, how many beers would you enter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is. And you say, you choose how many. And then they say, would you also want a booth or not? And then, you can say yes or no. And then you send that in, and then you wait. And then, I don't know, it's like a month later or something, they send you back a thing saying, congratulations, you can enter, 4 beers, and you have a booth or whatever. And so that's essentially how it works. And then you go in, and you have a certain amount of days to enter in your beers, select the categories that they're going into, and then you submit that and how many people you're going to have there, representatives for your booth and all that.
Now, how difficult is it to get a slot? Or to enter JBF? I mean, or to get a booth? I mean, is it like on Big Bang Theory where they're sitting around hitting refresh on their computer screens? Or
that is so. It wasn't a problem for a number of years, and then a few years ago, that's what happened. And if you did not sign up early, you were left out. And so people complained. a lot of tiny breweries that, they're brewing like on a 5-gallon system were getting booths, and breweries that everybody really wanted to see were not getting booths. So it was kind of messing it up. So that happened like 2 years in a row, so that happened 1 year, and then the next year, and they tell you in advance. They're going, okay, registration is going to open at this time on this day, and they tell you like a month in advance, and then they remind you like a couple of days before as well. And so I'm there, I'm ready, and so I got signed up each year, but people didn't, and so they didn't like that. So then they went to a lottery system where you indicated whether you wanted a booth, and then they kind of drew names out of a hat to see who got booths. And then this last year, what they did was they took a lot more of the convention space, so they had a lot more room and could fit a lot more booths. And then they also had another separate area that I think they charged more for, and kind of a special area.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that area.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Meet the Brewer area.
Yeah, it got to be a lot bigger. Well, and I would have signed up for the Meet the Brewer, but they said, a brewer has to be present at the booth every minute that we're open. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be the only brewer there. I'm really, not going to be at the booth the whole time, and so I didn't sign up for that. I walked around there. There weren't brewers at those booths at all. I mean, some of them, some of the time had brewers, but no, they didn't have brewers at the booths all the time. So
it's hard. A lot of the brewers are like yourselves, are judging as well. So
it's a full-time job.
I mean, not that the two conflict, but it's just exhausting. Being going through an entire day of judging, and then standing behind a booth all evening.
So for me, Wednesday night is like the only evening I have a little bit of time to do something, and then Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday I'm busy. I don't really get a chance to do anything. Well, all right, so they send you a thing saying, yeah, you're good to go. You indicate what categories you like or don't like, and then, but you don't get to choose your categories. When you get to GABF on Tuesday, there's a orientation session. It's around 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, goes till about 6 or 7, and they review all the basics of what you should know. And you get your packet, has all the things that you're judging. It has your score sheets that you'll use. It has your tickets for special events. It has all that stuff in it. And sometimes they have an interesting speaker, or they'll have, I remember one year, a really interesting talk about perception and sounds and flavors and all sorts of stuff. I thought was really cool. So they'll do something like that. And then usually there's a gathering later that evening where you go and just for the judges, and they have a bunch of food and food and beer. And usually I don't go to that because I'm the only one who can get in, and so instead of doing that, I just go with the people I'm there at GABF with and hang out with them instead. So I always miss that. But I saw it like 1 year, and I thought it seemed pretty good.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Right. And then you have to be ready to judge Wednesday morning, like at 8:30. You got to be ready to roll.
Yeah.
And same thing, Thursday morning, Friday morning. So you can't be out drinking real late. You gotta be a responsible person and get to bed early. And then they give you free breakfast every morning, free lunch every morning. It's all done at the Marriott there. And then you can get a free room for those nights if you're willing to share with another judge, or they'll pay for half of your room if you don't want to share with another judge. So that's pretty good, too. And then usually they have a free judge gift, which is something sort of beer-related.
Yeah.
Okay, you show up Wednesday, and then you're sitting there getting ready to judge with a whole crowd of peoples.
Yeah. Now, there's like typically 6 people at a table, and then you kind of split up into 2 groups of 3 to do a flight. And so each table does 2 flights very often.
Right.
And so the 3 of you will judge a flight of, anywhere from 9 to 15 beers 15 if you're doing American Pale Ale or IPA categories.
Right. Well, they won't do over 13, I believe, on any one group of judges. Generally,
Okay.
They try and keep it down to around 10. So they're getting in so many entries. What they'll do is you divide up the table, and usually you're judging with 2 other people, and someone's a table captain. And if it's a first round, you write a score sheet for every beer. And you just write a score sheet for every beer. You go through, let's say you get 10 or 12 beers. You write a score sheet for each one. Nobody's talking. You're just working through them. And then you start when you're all done, everyone's done, you start discussing with your other 2 judges which ones you think are good enough to go on. And, there's always another round. So I don't think there's anything. It's just one round. So between the 3 of you, you're going to pick the top 3 beers to go on. And the others get a, sorry you didn't go on sheet. And your score sheets all get stapled together. You fill out a sheet that says these 3 beers are going on. And then, so those are the only rounds you need to write score sheets for. And then there's second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, depends on what it is. And what happens then is, if you're judging a later round, the beers will be brought out to you, and you don't have to write any score sheets. You take your own notes, you smell them, you taste them, and then between you and your other 2 judges, you decide which ones are going on to the next round. If you have a final round, you're deciding which ones are going to win. And usually for the final round, it's the full table. It's all 6 people that decide on the final round.
Correct. Yep. That's been my experience, too.
All right. Let's get into some of the nitty-gritty of it. Let's take one more break, and when we come back, let's get into some details and some of the interesting things about judging in this manner at GABF. Right after this.
Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on beer styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable draft quality manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamil Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com. Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way. Know the 3 most important rules in brewing: sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, Santa Clean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Back to the 2 guys that know how to turn beer into beer. This is Brew Strong.
All right.
We're back.
Yes, we are. I thought I had a burp coming. Oh, there it is. There's a little delayed action on that one. I felt if I just talked and it was coming, that would have turned into vomit. And Justin sitting here, he wouldn't have liked that.
Oh, then there would have been a vomit parade.
Yeah, it was close. It was close, but I had to pause to make sure it did not come out with too much velocity because there would have been something following it.
Yes.
So yeah. Speaking of velocity, the AHA rally. Did you know, John, that AHA rally was completely free for AHA members? Yeah.
I did not realize that.
So if you're an AHA member and you went to that rally, you got 5 gallons of wort, custom brewed, for you to just and the yeast to pitch in there and get 5 gallons of beer. You got some special crystal malts from Brewer Supply Group. You got a chance to win free raffle, a bunch of books, shirts, the Lamont water test kit. Then you got two free beers, big beers. We're giving out like pints of the cherry sour.
Oh wow!
And then we had the 6-pack of the twin cans. You got that to take home. It was and all that for free. I think if you were to pay for something like that, you'd pay at least what, $30, $40?
Oh yeah,
for an event like that. AHA member, you get it for free. So I tell you, you can sign up for that. Go to the Brewing Network site, brewingnetwork.com, and then there's a AHA member link. You click on that, you sign up through that. A little portion gets back to the Brewing Network to help pay for shows like this, and the rest goes to the AHA. You help support the AHA. You get your free rallies. You get your member discount. You get Zymergy magazine. You get there's a members only session at GABF. There's a ton of stuff. well worth signing up. So do it today. Support the AHA. I do. I'm a lifetime member. And we hold the rallies because I believe in the AHA.
Me too.
Well, there you go. All right, so back to GABF. So a lot of times people ask, what you judged or what time, a lot of things about the actual judging process.
Right.
Now, how was your judging this year, John? I mean, what did you judge? Did you?
I did 3 rounds, including the medal round of American Amber, and I did the same on Scottish. I did a couple of. I think I did 1 or 2 rounds of American Strong Pale Ale, which is kind of like the splitting the difference between American Pale Ale and American IPA. Robust porter, chili beer, German sour beer. But quite a variety. I mean, every day, morning session, afternoon session. Sometimes different beers, in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on which flights you're doing. And but of course you've got the GABF style guide, as your working document.
It's different than the BJCP guide.
It is.
They've got their own kind of divisions and recommendations as to what is to style and what is not.
Yeah. They have basically more categories, more styles in the GABF one. It's a little more narrowly defined. So like the American Strong Pale Ale category, for instance, and it helps because when you've got there was 7,000 entries this year, or 6,800,
almost 7,000,
yeah. I mean, if there was only 80 categories, that's nearly 1,000 beers per category, or 800 per category, So you kind of need to break it down a little bit more to cover the variety of commercial beers out there.
Yeah, I don't recall. People ask me, well, what did you judge? I'm like, I can't remember. As soon as I'm done, I can't remember. I remember while I'm judging, but after I'm done judging, it's gone. It's completely empty. I've got other data to hold in that space, so I dump that knowledge pretty quick. But yeah, you'll start off with, sometimes you get categories that you said you preferred. I mean, they'll try and do that, but sometimes you get stuff that you said you didn't like. You'll still get it anyways.
Right. Yeah.
And it works. You'll get 3 flights per session generally. So your first one is a lot of times the one where you got to write, and then you get 2 that you don't have to write. And then you get lunch, and then you'll get another 3. So in each one of these, you're getting an average of at least 10 beers. So you're getting like 30 in the morning, 30 in the afternoon, and you do that for 3 days. So, it's like 180 beers that you're judging.
Yeah. At the end of each day, it's like, okay, done with beer.
Right, yeah. I have like no interest in drinking beer, especially by the ounce after that. I'll drink a pint maybe, but I'm not going to drink an ounce of anything. Right. And then, it's like, give me a gin and tonic, give me a margarita, give me anything other than an ounce of beer. And it makes it very hard to go around on the show floor because that's what they give you is an ounce of beer. It's like, I've been drinking ounces of beer to the point where I don't want ounces of beer. So that makes it a little tough. But I do remember this year, I got a chance to judge the final of the American IPA category.
Oh, nice.
So there was 5 rounds, and it was 380 something beers, I want to say, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And so we got 6 beers, and it had been through 5 rounds of judging before it got to us. And I'll say it, all those beers were really well made, and choosing the winners was kind of a little bit of, this is a little bit more, interesting than that, or, this is a little this way, this is a little that way. and just kind of down to the details of how many people like this one better than like this one, because they were all well made. And so it became kind of one of those things, almost like, what's your preference? I found it very interesting. It seemed to me all of them exhibited, new hop character like Mosaic and things like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I think that made a big difference. I do notice that in a lot of beers and a lot of the earlier rounds of judging, I noticed a lot of stale beer, and I noticed some sour, buttery beer, things like that.
Right.
Is that your experience as well, John?
Yeah, I mean, especially first round, anything with an obvious flaw, like even just a hint of diacetyl in a style that's says no diacetyl. Mm-hmm. Okay, that one's out of there.
Right.
Even if it's if it's a nice drinking beer otherwise, mm-hmm. you've got 12 beers in front of you. You've got to narrow it down to 3. So any obvious flaw is immediately out, and you'll kind of go around the table and say, what's the low hanging fruit here, mm-hmm. and you'll take out the
ones first.
Right.
Well, and I'll tell you this, I understand how brewers are passionate about their beer, and when they taste it, it tastes great. They don't see a problem with it, but you got to also understand, you send your beers in, and I think it's 6 weeks or more between sending the beers in and them getting judged.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have some sort of contamination in there that may not be apparent when you sent it in, or maybe your packaging process, if you're filling a bottle off a faucet in your tap room, I guarantee you it's contaminated at that point, and it's going to sit 6 weeks, and we're going to taste it when we get the beer.
Yeah.
So you got to be real careful.
A couple sour beers.
That. Yeah, and so you got to be hypercritical of stuff like that. I'll tell you, here's a good idea for you. If you got a beer, I think there's Dr. Homebrew, and they generally are doing homebrewers beers. This show on the Brewing Network, Dr. Homebrew. For those of you who have not been paying attention, you could send your beers in there. Commercial, homebrew. I don't think they don't mind. Either one's fine. Yeah,
either one.
Yeah, they'll take your beer. You don't even have to say it's commercial if you want to be. Just say, oh yeah, I'm Joe Blow, homebrewer from wherever, and send your commercial beer into them, and let them judge it for you. Get a pre-check on it just to see if they're picking up anything, maybe something that you're missing. I find that to be one of the most valuable things about competition is getting somebody to blindly check my beer and give me feedback on it. Something that maybe I missed, something that I've become blind to. And I think that happens to all brewers. So, an opportunity like Dr. Homebrew, that's a good way to do it. You get, some serious analysis and some tips as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Dr. Homebrew on the Brewing Network. Check it out. It's free.
I had some interesting cases in the robust porter category I judged.
Uh-huh.
It was I think that was the first round, so we were doing score sheets on those. And but I probably had, out of 12 beers, I probably had at least 4 that were in the wrong category. Some that were clearly a brown porter, whether by color or flavor profile. Mm-hmm. Robust porter is supposed to have a little bit of roast note to it, where brown porter is more without the roast, but some caramel, some brown malt kind of characters, similar to a brown ale, but more, and then I had some that were also clearly what I would call a foreign extra stout, where you had the roast character, but you had so much sweetness backing it up, mm-hmm. that it was really more in the foreign extra stout category. So good beers, but those were eliminated for being in the wrong category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
situations
like that.
That's another thing. Again, Dr. Homebrew could help you out with that, or you can list Brewing with Style. You could send your beers in there. We do all the different BJCP categories, and we'll actually pick a winner from commercial examples and homebrew examples, So you can send your beers in there, and we can give you the lowdown on there, whether it's two style or not. That's another interesting way of getting feedback on your beers.
Yep.
Did you have anything that particularly? Did you learn anything from this? Did you get anything that kind of an aha moment from judging something this year?
Well, I did the third round of Scottish ales. No, it was the second and third of Scottish ales, and that's not a style I routinely drink. I mean, and it's not a style that a lot of craft brewers brew. It's not a very popular style, even though it's quite tasty. But it's not one I get the chance to judge very often. So going into it, I'm looking at the style guideline, and reading it, and looking at the gravities, looking at the IBUs, looking at the malt description, trying to get a real good picture of the flavor it should have. And but as I commented to the table at large, on a third round, it's like this is like pin the tail on the donkey. I mean, you've got 9 good beers in front of you. How do we pick the top 3? They're all so good. Mm-hmm. But it's like one we eliminated because it was just a little too big compared to the others. Mm-hmm. So a little bit more of a what do you call it, a wee heavy than the 80. Mm-hmm. Or sort of, yeah. And one was had a very nice roast character, but the roast character was a little too pronounced, almost more like an Irish red than a Scottish. Mm-hmm. And others were, one was a little too sweet. We felt the balance wasn't quite there. In terms of the IBUs, one was definitely hoppy, hoppier than the rest. So, yeah, I mean, it was, you really work as a table, and we had, of the 6 of us, 2 of us were English, and so had, and more experienced judges, so they had a little more experience with the style than I did. But as a group, you kind of work down, in talking through the guidelines, talking through the style, what you're tasting, what you're not tasting, mm-hmm. where you think the balance is, to come up with what you feel are the first, second, and third of that category. So, mm-hmm. a very rewarding, personally rewarding judging session. I felt that I got a lot out of it, better understanding of the style. I also felt that the contributions that I made to the group were worthwhile and valued. So good judging session, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Let's do this. Let's take another short break. When we come back, I am going to tell you what I got out of judging, my aha moments, and also give you some tips for sending your beers into GABF right after this.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Say hello to my little friend.
You've You've heard about White Labs Pure Pitch yeast. Pure pitch is yeast grown right in its final packaging. That means yeast that has never been exposed to the environment. And White Labs Pure Pitch yeast for homebrewers is now available to everyone at homebrew retailers nationwide. Easy to use, perfectly sized, and ready to pitch. White Labs yeast, packaged using their Flex Cell process, ensures the purest yeast on the market. Visit whitelabs.com to learn more about Pure Pitch, Flex Cell technology, and how it's created. Then visit a homebrew retailer near you for your own perfectly sized package of Pure Pitch yeast. And you can say hello to your own little friend. www.whitelabs.com.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com.
Learning to brew has never been so disgusting. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Are you getting enough?
Yeah.
I bet you'd love more, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, AdamandEve.com wants to give you more. I'd like them to give you as much as you'd take, but with the proper offer code, they're going to give you 10 free gifts. First,
Really? 10?
Yeah. You go to AdamandEve.com, use the offer code Jamil, Jamil, and first you're going to get a sexy surprise for her. Second, you're going to get a specially selected toy for him. And then third, you're going to get a little something you both can enjoy.
Can I catch fish with it?
I think one of them, if you tied a big string to it and a hook, yeah.
Okay, cool.
You could get some distance with that bad boy. Plus, you're going to get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. You get to choose your categories still. You get to get some fine, anal, Asian, amateur, big breast, big butts, bisexual, co-ed, all the good topics out there, all the good categories.
Republicans,
and you're going to get your free shipping on the entire order. That's your number 10 gift is free shipping. So you go to AdamandEve.com, you buy any one item, and a sex toy, piece of lingerie, anything you want, and use the offer code Jamil, and then they're going to give you the 10 free full-length adult movies on DVD. You get the surprise for her, you get the surprise for him, the surprise for both of you, all at AdamandEve.com. Check it out. They use the offer code Jamil, Jamil, at AdamandEve.com. All right, GABF judging.
So what was your aha moment?
Well, I don't quite remember at this point, but
it's all a blur.
But I've had a number of them over the years, and a lot of times it's because I'm sitting with, other quality judges. There's a lot of quality judges, people that really, know their stuff, sitting down to judge.
Yeah.
And so, there are times when they'll say something about a style or about a beer, and you're like, oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I've learned something. I've picked up, a piece of knowledge. Other times it's, I'm judging, a special category or something like that, where it might be a spice category or a fruit category or something, and you get to to taste a wide array of these beers. And sometimes people have, great creativity, and you're like, wow, that really does work in beer. That fruit really works well in beer. I never thought of using that before. So you can pick up knowledge like that. And then sometimes, it's just, getting to sit and judge with somebody that you've had a great deal of respect for. And, it's just a really, really great experience. I've judged with a lot of wonderful people, people that I've never gotten a chance to judge with in previously. I mean, I've known Ray Daniels for quite a while. Never got to judge with him, but GABF I did. Cool. I know Matt Brittleson. Never got to judge with him. At GABF I did. Fal Allen, another great person. Never got to judge with him, but at GABF I did. So, and you see all these guys. You get to talk to them. You get to have lunch with them. It's a wonderful experience, and I think every time for me it's an exhausting experience because I put everything into judging. I want my analysis to be flawless. I want to really do everything I can to properly judge the beers put in front of me. So I take it very seriously, and I put a lot of effort into it. And I think in return, it gives me a lot. I think I really gain a lot from the experience. I think I become better at judging beer. I think I become better at everything. Yeah. I was at a friend's place, poured me a beer. I tasted it. And the first thing I said was, this is phenolic. There's, wild yeast in this beer. It's like, really? He's like, he believed me, but, wasn't really sure. But sure enough, lab tests showed that there was wild yeast in there. And even the lab guys were like, I don't smell anything. I don't taste anything. I'm like, it's in there. I can tell you. And I've just become so attuned to picking up phenols.
Right.
You can hop it however you want. You can put whatever you want in it. I'll pick it up. You just can't mask it anymore. You get so in tune with this. It's like a kind of muscle that you exercise judging, and the more you do it, the more effort you put into it, and the more good people you judge with, the better you get at it. It's one of those things where experience really does pay off.
That's true.
Well, and I want to give some tips to people that are entering in competition. And especially competition where, a lot of people are shipping their entries. The entries have to sit for quite a bit of time because they need a lot of time to sort through them all, get all the, categories lined up, get all the judges. I mean, when you're doing 7,000 beers in those 3 days, they got to get them in early, in order to do this. So here's a couple of tips. One is staling. Don't package your beer with a lot of oxygen. I mean, either it needs to be like bottle conditioned, or it needs to be, packaged with very low oxygen pickup. And the only way you're really going to know how to do that is, if you've got, the ability to measure oxygen of the parts per billion. But that's, one of the most common flaws I found on beers where they were stale. They just exhibit signs of staling. The second one was the contamination. Make sure everything's clean. Make sure that you're not picking up any contamination or oxidation by the way you're packaging. When you have packaged, package an extra bottle or can or whatever for you. Leave it out at room temperature until the judging happens. And then you can taste it then, or you can taste it when you get your notes back from the competition and see, what you think of it then. If you think your beer is less of a beer at that point, well, that's what the judges are getting. And maybe that's, a sign to you that you need to change some of your practices to, send in better entries.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Right, and a lot of times people will send them in, and then they don't have the beer for later, and it makes it very difficult to you'll look at these notes and go, oh, these people didn't know what they're talking about. Well, are you tasting the same beer they tasted? A lot of times you're not. So I would highly suggest people do that. You have any tips for people about the competition, John?
One thing I talked about with a couple of fellow judges there was that I felt we were getting better at, judging to the middle of the category than, previously, not necessarily past years at the GABF, but just in general in judging beer over the last, 10, 15 years. We've got more and more, experienced judges now. And I think as a group, we're better able to judge, where a beer sits in terms of its ABV, or its bitterness, its color, and I think in times past, a brewer may have been tempted to enter a bigger beer into a category.
Push the category.
To make the judges sit up and take notice of this beer. But I think these days, the judges are better able to identify that beer as being an outlier, and chances are it won't do as well in that category because it's it's on the edge.
Good point, John. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, I would tell you all, if you have an interest in judging, absolutely go sign up for GABF judging. Get some judges to sponsor you, or fill out the recommendation for you and go to it. I think it's a great learning experience. It is a lot of hard work, but I think it's work worth doing. And our saying here at the Brewing Network: if it's worth doing at all, it's worth
at least doing half of it.
Doing half of it, yeah, or getting somebody else to do the work for you.
Yes,
that's our motto. All right. If you like our motto, if you like the Brewing Network, make sure to check out our sponsors. Check out BlickmanEngineering.com. Send them an email, feedback@BlickmanEngineering.com. Tell them how much you like the show and how much you appreciate them paying for it. Sign up for the AHA through the Brewing Network site. There's various little things you can do to help keep this stuff on the air. Buy yourself a new hoodie. Winter's coming, and they got some great ones on the Brewing Network store. So check it out, BrewingNetwork.com/store. Anything you buy there goes to the bottom line of the Brewing Network and helps keep programming like this on the air. And where would you be without us? Probably be listening to something funny or something educational. Why would you do that when you could do this instead? All right. Until then, everybody, brew strong.
Brew strong, everyone.